Welcome to special Weird Wednesday Fantastic Fest's joint presentation of EUGENIE, the story of journey into perversion. Yeah. My name is Lars. I don't usually introduce who I am, but I program Weird Wednesday. Also, programmer at large for Alamo Drafthouse Theaters and repertory programmer for Fantastic Fest. Is anybody here for Fantastic Fest? Very happy to see you. This is kind of like a kickoff night for Fantastic Fest, but we don't. We actually do this every single damn week here, and we've done it for a really long time, like 8 years. So tonight is part of is kind of the kickoff Franco movie of a whole series of movies by this director, Jess Franco, that are going to happen during Fantastic Fest, and unbelievably, like this is mind-blowing to me and to, like anybody else who knows the score here. Jess Franco is going to be here with me in a roommate. But he's going to be at Fantastic Fest for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday screenings of Venus First, Succubus, and Bare-Breasted Countess. And it's like the weirdest fucking thing. Like many of you are like, yeah, I don't know who the fuck these people are or why that's weird, but it's amazing. It's like Jesus coming back to Earth. Really a huge deed. And so a lot of you probably don't have Fantastic Fest badges, and that's sad for you, but you'll know better next year. But you can attend these screenings because there are, it's kind of been under the radar, but there are tickets available. You can just go to originalalamo.com and go to that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights and buy tickets for $9 a piece, which is unbelievable. Those are going to sell out, but I want them to sell out to good people, not just people who have a Jess Franco t-shirt and think they're cool. And that's you guys, because you are here on a weeknight at midnight. This movie, first of all, I've had a lifelong, well not lifelong, goddamn it. I've had a 12, 13-year obsession with Jess Franco's movies. And it really is an obsession. If you watch Franco's movies, obsession is kind of the key theme that runs through his movies, even to the extent that he's so obsessed with making movies that he's made probably around 200, but nobody knows how many feature films he's made. He doesn't know. Nobody knows. It can never be quantified how many feature films he's made. And then even like little parts will turn up, and like old feature films that nobody knew he made will turn up every once in a while. It's true. So he's made so many movies, and in the year he made this movie, EUGENIE, he made, I think, he only made like 5 other movies that year. And that was a really take it easy kind of cruising year for Franco. Because later on, it was in 74, 75, he made 13 or more films, 13 or more like feature films, like hour-and-a-half long feature films, 13 or 14 in a year. That's a lot. So this guy's made a lot of movies, and you would think, like after a while, he'd kind of be on cruise control. And he was. But he was on cruise control to Awesome Town. Even when he was on cruise control, and he was using the zoom lens all the time, because like there's no time to move the camera, you know? So it's like the zoom lens that goes all around. He did it so much, and he had such film sense, such an ability to like frame and to photograph and to realize how to tell the story and to place his actors and to coach them up to act in these films, like these scenarios, that the movies, once you got on a roll, they're great. That's the thing about Franco, is this movie was made on a really, really short schedule. But it looks, except for the fact there's a lot of out of focus stuff. But there are a lot of shots out of focus, okay? But shit, man, it was like a 12-day schedule, so, you know. And it looks amazing. I mean, the out of focus stuff, just forgive it, all right? Remember, this guy's made over 200 films, and he made like, whatever, 6 other films that year, so give him a break, all right? This movie, EUGENIE, this is the hardest, for years until Blue Underground came out with a DVD of it years ago, this was the hardest movie of his to find. Nobody had a print of it, you couldn't even find a bootleg of it, and so what we're going to show is not the DVD, but we went to Blue Underground and said, hey, can we have the digital scan that you made of the negative, and can you dupe it off for us so we can show the digital scan? So this is a digital scan that was made in 2001, so they didn't have HD then. So what you're going to see is a standard resolution digital scan. But it's going to look the best that anybody has seen EUGENIE in a movie theater since like 1970. So, sorry that we don't have a film print. Nobody has a fucking film print of this movie. So we're going to see it as good as it can possibly fucking look. All right. So this movie is, I sent out a thing on like the Twitter deal and Facebook and all that shit saying, oh, you should take drugs before you watch this. And then I noted, I was just kidding, haha. But I wasn't just kidding. I just threw that in there. I figured you would see through it. Did anybody take like heavy-duty drugs? Did you? You did? Yeah. Awesome. I knew it. When I saw you, I was like, that guy's on heavy drugs. Okay, so, but no, really, this movie was made in 1969. It was not, I'm not standing up here and being like some jam band hippie bullshit. I'm really saying this movie was made. I'm not saying, oh, it's like, watch The Wizard of Oz on drugs. I'm not saying that shit. I'm saying this movie really was made to be shown in these theaters with people who were taking drugs, okay? And so that's going to explain a lot. It's like the soundtrack and the movie and the look of the thing and the color and all that shit is just really good if you're on drugs. I mean, it's okay if you're not, but if you are, it's really, really, really good. So I just want to recommend that if you fucked up this time and you didn't take drugs, you can go and get an excellent DVD of this, and hopefully someday a Blu-ray of this, and maybe someday a print will be found. But you can go and see this movie and take drugs when you watch it. You're going to thank me for this. The soundtrack is by Bruno Nicolai, who orchestrated a lot of stuff with Ennio Morricone. He was a close collaborator with Morricone. And you're going to hear a lot of signature kind of Morricone sounds that you probably always associated with Morricone in the hands of his orchestrator, Bruno Nicolai. And it's a beautiful, really psychedelic, great soundtrack. The locations, this is another Franco trademark, locations are so incredibly beautiful. He in fact lives near where you'll see that this was filmed, on the southeast coast of Spain. Gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, Marie Liliadal plays the lead in this, and she was I only know her from one other movie, which was Joe Sarno's Inga, which is, it's a really odd thing for her to be in that movie and then to be in this movie, but she was in two classics. Apparently she has like bad memories about being in these movies, and so she was like compelled to be in it and was like whipped and stuff and all that, but I don't really have a problem with that. It works for me. I'm sorry she had a bad time, whatever, but it's a great work of cinema. And the blonde woman that you'll see, who is the one of the brother and sister team of debauchery people, whatever, is Maria Rome, who was the wife of the producer and writer Harry Alan Towers. Harry Alan Towers just died. Maria Rome, I think, is still alive. She was like, the producer cast his wife in a lot of these movies. But it was more than just a matter of like, I'm going to cast my wife. She was actually really, really good in this and in Venus and Furs and a lot of other movies. Christopher Lee, who we of course know, is in this movie. He did 2 days on a set in Barcelona, outside of everything else. And then they kind of like, after he left, they were like, is he gone? Okay, take off your shirt and lay down and we'll get like somebody to act like that he's standing there. So they filmed like all this nudie stuff and made it look like he was in it, but he actually wasn't. But he feigned like afterwards. He was like, oh, I didn't know. Oops, I had no idea. And he was probably right, but still, he knew what he was getting into when he was working with these kind of people. All right. Oh, and the actor who plays the brother, the debauched brother, is Jack Taylor. You'll see in a lot of Franco movies. You'll see in 3 movies in this series. Amazing, piercing blue eyes. He's been in a lot of other stuff. Hey, this movie's great. Enjoy it. Oh, there's not a lot of plot in this movie. In fact, there's not a plot. There's not much of a plot in this movie, okay? So hang in there. Enjoy it for the visual, color, musical, sex symphony that it is. And don't hang in, don't like, oh, when are the cops going to show up and break this shit up? They're not. A lot of fun stuff's going to happen, and there's going to be sex. It's going to be great. So, no cops. Fuck the cops.